Well, good morning. It's bright and early here on a Friday morning, and it's time for another video. Hi, I'm Trucker Todd, and you may have noticed lately or recently the TCA released their findings for best carriers to drive for, and Dart Transit was proud to announce that they were one of the companies that were nominated. And to be honest with you, they've either been nominated or won or whatever for as long as I can remember. I started at Dart the first time I worked for them in 2008, and they were always in the running back then. So the question for today's video is, are they really one of the best fleets to drive for? They certainly get nominated and get a lot of accolades, but what's it like to really work here? Well, I've been back for about 100 days now, actually a little over 100 days. Why not do a 100-day review? I'll tell you the good, I'll tell you the bad, and then you can decide for yourself. All right, let's not waste any time. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
And just like that, we're back. All right. As always, I need to remind everybody, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Share this video on your social media platforms. Down below, my link is there if you'd like to apply at Dart Transit. There's also a phone number there if you'd like to talk to the recruiting department at Dart Transit. Maybe have some questions about your specific situation. Or what opportunities are available in your area. Also, my email and Instagram are there. Feel free to shoot me an email or join me on Instagram. And so all of those options are available to you. And so I don't want to waste any more time. Let's jump right into this. So, as you know, I started here back in September, and first trip out of the gate, I had a problem with my fifth wheel after I delivered. I spent a week in the shop. Dart was great with me on that, and they really made that a stressless procedure. And so I really went into this with high hopes and high expectations. And I've done pretty well here. Obviously, this company and the last company I worked with, and maybe all trucking companies right now, I think they're probably about 10 to 15 cents a mile off on mileage pay. But Dart does some things that I would call unconventional in trucking, especially on their lease purchase side, that kind of offsets that. One thing is the cheaper truck payments. There you go. You can tell I haven't had my caffeine this morning. I've got a 2019 Kenworth T680. I just released a review on it. If you hadn't seen it, go check it out. And I'm getting that truck. It's got a little over 260,000 miles on it now. Had 230 something when I got it. I'm getting it for $2,100 a month, and it's not a plain Jane stripped down KW. It's a nice truck. And so that right there, it's very fuel efficient. Parts of this trip I was getting 12.5 miles a gallon. I finished out after idling and everything at 9.6. And granted, it was a light load, 15,000 pounds. But the truck I had at the previous company, if I'd have been bobtail, I wouldn't have got that kind of fuel economy. And so I'm really, really happy with the truck. It did have a lot of nicks and dings and scratches. They don't do any kind of cosmetic repairs on the truck when you get them. And for that reason, There's some things I don't like about the truck, but as far as reliability, comfort, and being a tool to get the job done, it's a great piece of equipment. Now, let's talk about orientation. Orientation, and I'm recapping for some of you guys that might not have seen that video, can be anywhere from 1 to 3 days. They send you this Loomis thing, and you can do the little modules at home before orientation. I got all mine done before I got there, so my orientation was 1 day. And I ended up spending the night there and leaving out the next day with my first load. The Luma, they also send monthly videos and stuff they want you to do, stuff they want you to read. Now, the problem with that is I've got almost 7 hours into that. And that's time I'd like to be paid for. You know, in trucking, and this isn't a bad deal about Dart necessarily, but it's more about trucking in general. We're asked to do so many things for free. So there's 6 hours of time that I could have been playing with grandkids or spending time with family or the wife or something like that, that I'm watching videos that I'm receiving absolutely no pay for. And I'm not saying I want to make $50 an hour on it, but I have worked for companies where they gave you $120 a month or $150 a month if you got the videos watched by a certain date. And to the best of my knowledge, there's no way to earn any type of pay off of the training videos. Now, when I came here, I was offered a $5,000 sign-on bonus. I don't think they're doing that right now. I got that. They pay it $500 every 10,000 miles till the 5,000's paid out. I haven't had any trouble collecting that money. They've been very good about paying it. And so I'm real happy with the sign-on bonus. It's legitimate. They don't try to screw you out of it. As far as payroll in general, I haven't had any trouble. Everything's been really straightforward. If there was an issue, I call the fleet manager or sometimes payroll directly, and it's fixed very quickly. So I'm very happy with the payroll department. Safety's been pretty good. You know, the guy that did my road test, we kind of bumped heads a little bit, and then we ended up getting along great at the end. They don't bug you. They're not constantly trying to nitpick you. But I'm kind of a quiet one that just kind of comes out here and does my job and don't stir up anything any more than what these videos stir up things. And so safety's okay too. My fleet manager is great. Her and I get along great. There's no problems there whatsoever. Here's one thing. If I was going to shoot an arrow at Dart, here's what it would be. Let's take yard moves, for example. They don't have yard moves on the logbook. And they say, well, it's a combination of a couple of things. We've had some guys that abuse it, and we've got a technical problem with it where it doesn't know when you're doing a yard move or whatever. Well, if it's from abuse of other drivers, just cut it off for those drivers. Why punish everybody for a few people? If it's a technical issue, it's Omnitrax. Contact Omnitrax. Say, here's what we're trying to do. It's legal. It's not letting us do it. Fix it. We're paying you a lot of money. Fix it. And it should be something Omnitrax could resolve fairly quickly. I had Omnitrax at the last company I worked with, and they were able to do yard moves. So this is a different system. The other was phone-based Omnitrax. This is an actual more traditional style Omnitrax. Also, personal conveyance. The way they do it, the first, I think it's 90 days or 6 months, I don't know. I think it's 90 days. They don't have your personal conveyance on. If you need it, you have to call in and they'll turn it on for you if you qualify. Their reasoning behind that, they told us in orientation, was because they had guys abusing it. That's easy. If it's somebody abusing it, find out, was they intentionally abusing it? Was it an education issue? If it's education, train them. You got all those modules. If it's intentional abuse, say it's gone. You lose it. If guys aren't sure if it's qualifies as personal conveyance or not, they can call dispatch and find out. They can watch my videos, or there's other videos out about what's legal personal conveyance and what's not. So I guess all companies are a little guilty of this, punishing everybody for what a few guys do. I'm not a big fan of that. While we're on that, let's talk about another, let's call them pain points. Their policy on truck speed. When you come to orientation, your truck is set at 65 miles an hour. After 90 days, they'll turn it up to 67. After 380,000 miles, which about 3 years, they turn it up to 75, which they claim is the most they can turn it up because of the speed rating of the tires. Okay. I'm okay with that. I would like to see it, and I told the VP of Safety this, I'd like to see it more incrementalized. That gap from 67 to 75, you have 3 years, space it out. Go a couple miles an hour every year or something like that, to where it's a gradual stair step up. And he doesn't, well, let's just say this. We didn't get where I wanted to get with it. I've got 600,000 miles with DART total time. So I'm almost twice the 380. And they don't want to turn me up past the 67. They're going to make me redo the 380 because I went away for a few years. And I've kind of rationalized it in my head where I'm okay with it now. I was a little upset at first. As I told you in the previous video, in an ideal world, I'd like to go, or have the option to go about 70 or 72. So we're talking 3 to 5 miles an hour. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to quit over it. But, man, if I had 3 to 5 miles an hour more, I think I'd be a lot more happy. Even though most of the time I do 65, 67 right in there for fuel economy. And loads have time to do it usually. And so, but it'd just be nice sometimes. Some of these trucking companies like to drag race with you. Or if they know your truck's governed, they like to mess with you. They'll get beside you and they'll speed up and slow down so that you're blocking traffic. And if you had that little extra oomph, you could get around them. And so, what else should we talk about here? The terminals are very, very nice for the most part. Good facilities. For example, Dallas, they have almost like a mini convenience store in there. There's a nice big screen TV in there. There's showers. One guy got on one of my videos and said he thought the showers were in poor condition. That has not been my experience. At some point in time, I'm going to actually film some of the terminals. I got permission from DART to do that. And so at some point, I'll actually show you inside the terminals. Also, Egan is very nice as well. Same thing, mini convenience store type deal with a lot of food options. Nice break room. One thing I've noticed that's different about DART in 2021 versus 2014 when I left them before is that they are a lot friendlier. Before it was kind of us versus them type feeling where they wouldn't really talk to you a lot, and now they're more likely to walk up to you, ask you how you're doing, things like that. I've noticed a big shift. I've mentioned this in other videos too. The president and CEO of the company now is very pro-driver, and he's made a lot of positive changes. Matter of fact, on Monday's video, I'm actually going to tell you about 2 announcements they made yesterday that are more pro-driver stuff. They're always trying to find ways to make it better. So, I know this video wasn't as organized as I hoped it would be. When you do these unscripted one-shot videos like this, you never know what you're going to say. But I would have to agree that, at least in my personal experience, and I've been driving since December of '96, this is probably the best company I've ever worked for. Overall, I'm making the most money I've ever made, not just in trucking, but anywhere. Um, we don't fight about home time. I mean, it's been tough to do videos because everybody wants to hear the negative. I can put out a positive video and go, rah, rah, everything's great, and it'll get a few views, but I can do a video about a blowout, or if I were to have an argument with a dispatcher or something, and it'll be my #1 video of the month. And I can't say that I wish I had more bad experiences, because I don't. I'm glad things are going great, but it's tough to do videos when everything's so great, and that's why they've slowed down lately. I have a list of videos I'm going to do, and like I said, they made some big announcements that I'm going to announce on Monday on here. But I'm going to have to agree with the TCA. I think this is one of the best fleets to drive for. They get nominated every year, and they're not perfect. No trucking company is, but they have company driver jobs, if that's more what you're into, and they have a ton. Let me repeat that: a ton of dedicated opportunities and regional opportunities, local opportunities, and that's why you need to dial that 800 number below and ask them what's available in your area. Tell them what you want to do and see what they got. You never know. It won't hurt nothing, doesn't cost nothing, and you might end up a year from now saying this is the best place you've ever worked. But anyway, this video's gone longer than I wanted to. I'm sorry I've hopped around as much as I have. And we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.